All right, welcome, guys. I have a very special treat for you guys today. Josh, I believe you're a sponsored athlete,
Yeah.
very successful. He's had a podcast. You get me. He's had guys that have raised billions of dollars, made billions of dollars at Kent Clothier. Did you have the CEO of YouTube recently on? I mean, you've had all kinds of people on the show that are just up there like that, like such.
Yeah, it's been an incredible ride so far, brother.
So we're honored to have him as a guest. Josh, we'll get right into it. What are some things that you love about your profession? I know we were talking about before we started recording. You get me about how you used to be fat and now you're super fit. You get me? You're like, oh, I'm not that fit, dude. Thank you. But he's super fit. Look at him. You get me? His like shoulders are just like rippling, his neck, everything. I mean, what made you want to change? What was that point where it's just like, bam? Because Tony Robbins will share, change happens in an instant. You get me? It doesn't have to take so long. It could happen in an instant. And then, where you're at today, being sponsored.
Yeah. So, I mean, we were talking before the podcast started, and and you mentioned your mentors. I've been blessed to have the mentors that I've had, throughout my entire life. I've been really lucky to fall into situations that I've been able to fall into and have, really just tried to make the most of every opportunity. To answer your question about why I do what I do, and the best part of it, is helping people understand the abilities that they truly have in themselves to be able to make and manifest the lifestyle that they really want in life. You know, in particular, I work, as a health and fitness professional, and I find it so gratifying that I can help people realize that, they're in control of their health. They're in control of their weight. They're in control of their nutrition, their sleep, their mindset behind it all. And it really comes down to the actions you set for yourself. So for me, it was, being able to help these really high achievers, right? I work with some of the wealthiest people, some of the most successful people in the country and in the world, and helping them, understand that they still have a level that they can reach, right, with their health that maybe they weren't even sure that they could get to themselves. So, it's been a blessing to be able to help so many people realize, that their goals can become a reality for themselves. It just takes, the right plan of action and a lot of hard work.
What are some things that you believe set you apart from other people with that in your industry versus other coaches? I know that you usually, what was the demographic do you target specifically, the way you share it? One more time. I know I had asked you on Instagram.
Yeah, so I target primarily men, but women as well, who are high achievers, who are business owners, high level executives, CEOs, entrepreneurs, investors, who have kids who are extremely busy and don't really understand that they can manage their schedule, manage their calendar, shift their calendar in a way that allows them to still be able to take a stronghold in their health, right? And be able to invest back in themselves, right? When lead a company, when you own a company, when you're someone that has to manage a whole lot of people, you're giving a lot to others, right? But in order to continue to give to others constantly on a daily basis, year in and year out, you need to be able to pour into yourself first, right? So I help those people pour into themselves so that they can take full advantage of the life that they have and make the most of it.
I love that, by the way. I have a ton of questions for you because I'm actually in the process of shredding up. I love doing MMA workouts because I'm all for health. I've been working out consistently for the past like year and a half, I'd say now. What are
Congrats.
some? Oh my gosh, Josh, it's amazing. Okay, what are some things that you would be able to give me advice on when it comes to, I guess, like proteins? Something that has a lot of superfoods, that has a lot of nutrients. I'm sure you've heard of Shakeology, possibly. I think Beachbody super trainers follow both of you guys and such.
Mhm.
And what are some, I guess, really good proteins that you believe that are similar to that, or just have a lot of superfoods and such? You get me throughout the day. Any kind of little nutrition hacks here and there that you can incorporate. I have pistachios over here. These are pretty good.
There you go.
Um,
Yeah, so I'm really all about simplifying things for people, right? I think, when it comes to, especially when it comes to your health, right? There's so much information and, this big keyword nowadays, right? Misinformation that a lot of people like to throw around. When it comes to,
absolutely.
the style of training that you need, the type of nutrition or the type of diet that you should be focusing on. And I'm all about flexibility, right? And opportunity. Okay, so when you tailor yourself and you say, you pigeonhole yourself to say, oh, I'm only going to do this diet, or I'm only going to do this training program, you're really restricting the opportunities and the flexibility that is available to you to be able to make the best decisions for your lifestyle, right? And people like to, especially, because I'm a health and fitness professional and I've been in the industry for over 12 years, people are like, oh, I want to do what you do. I'm like, well, what I do is crazy, right? I go to bed at 8 p.m. I wake up at 4 a.m. I'm grinding all day long, So what I do might not work for somebody else, right? So it's all about finding the opportunities that individual has in order to eat a healthier meal, right? To train for 30 to 45 minutes, so if they have the time, an hour, right? But find
I think
that when
everybody has the time at some point. Yeah. I mean,
well,
for
you got to make
especially
the
for
time.
like your health.
Yeah, you got to make the time. You have to prioritize, right? You have to prioritize what's important to you. But
Coach.
at the same time, right? Again, the people I work with are extremely busy. They want to spend time with their family. They need to focus on their business. They need to give their employees attention. So how do we make the most out of the short amount of time that they actually have available to them? So I really try to simplify things for them so that the actions that they take are easy to replicate for themselves day in and day out, right? So what I recommend for people to do is, one, move your body around. Move your body first thing when you wake up. Doesn't have to be anything crazy. Do some glorified joint circles. Move your joints around, get the day started with some quality movement, get your energy levels up. Secondly, find 30 to 45 minutes to get a quality, intentional workout in, right? Doesn't have to be anything crazy. Not asking you to be a CrossFit athlete or be a power lifter or, step on stage in a bodybuilding competition. But I do want you to move your body and be intentional with that movement, meaning stay off your phone. Don't be talking to people, right? Focus on the work at hand. And then when it comes to nutrition, right, I really focus on high quality lean proteins for people. Doesn't matter if you're vegetarian, vegan, you want to do paleo, you want to eat, a big thing nowadays, carnivore diet for a lot of people. You only want to eat meat, or you want to have a more balanced approach to your diet. Lean quality proteins, lots of vegetables. So when we talk about vegetables, I'm talking about eating the rainbow. The more colors that you can eat, the better it's going to be for you, right? Because the different colors that you see in the vegetables are all those different micronutrients and that we need to be able to make sure that we're performing at a top level. Drinking a lot of water is another one, right? And then supplementing that if you need some extra sugar, try to stay away from processed sugars like candy and chips, things like that, and eating more things like fruit, right? I really think fruit is a great way for you to be able to get the added sugar that you need so that you can keep that energy going throughout the day.
Do you have any fruits and vegetables that you are particularly drawn to just off your use of like experience, coach?
I'm honestly a big advocate, and because again, it's all about simplifying things and making sure that you get the most bang for your buck. And to be honest, for me personally, and for a lot of people I work with, when you have a lot of like fresh fruits and vegetables, they end up getting rotten, and you end up wasting a ton of money. I mean, I know back in the day, I spent hundreds and hundreds of dollars every month on fresh fruits and vegetables, thinking that was the only way I was going to be able to get the new micronutrients that I really needed. And it would all go to waste, right? Because I would just not want to eat that at that current time or whatever. So I'm actually a big advocate in getting those packages of frozen vegetables and the big packages of frozen fruits, right? So that I can store it in my freezer. It'll last a lot longer, right? It's a huge misconception that these frozen fruits and vegetables actually have less micronutrient content or poor micronutrient content than what you'd find in fresh fruits and vegetables. It's very untrue. And again, it's much more sustainable for a lot of people because I can just pull one of those out of the freezer. It already comes in that mixed bag. So I'm getting cauliflower, I'm getting broccoli, I'm getting peppers, I'm getting onions, I'm getting edamame, peas, carrots. I'm getting all these good things that that you want for the variety to keep that freshness up, to keep that taste there. Just pop that in the oven and away we go, right? So big on frozen fruits and mixed bags of frozen fruits and frozen vegetables.
What are some things that you found that when you're training somebody else that or in promoting your business that is effective for you? Because you're very successful. You're a sponsored athlete. I believe it's 10,000.
Yeah, 10,000. One of the best training gears you guys can go out and buy for sure.
Right on. So what's some advice you'd give to somebody to, I guess, if they wanted to follow your steps on success? Because you've reached success that guys at 40 or 50, you get me, a lot of the time would like to reach, or even, yeah, but they haven't reached it. And you're at, the very, very pinnacle of your field. You're like the top of your field.
I appreciate that. Number one,
You the man.
you have to set your priorities straight, right? Like, what do you really want to accomplish in life? The rest of the stuff is all fluff. Get rid of it, right? What do you actually want to accomplish? Number two, you have to master your calendar, right? And master your schedule. I know, you had my co-host for the Sweat Out podcast, Anthony Mendez, on, and he's another
Boy,
big advocate in mastering your schedule, mastering your calendar. So, you know, what gets scheduled gets done, right? So putting everything that you actually want to accomplish in your schedule, in your calendar, and then accountability, right? Holding yourself accountable to actually getting those things done, right? Like, if I say that I'm going to, this morning, right, I was building out all of my content for August, for the next month. From 6 a.m. to 8 a.m., I scheduled in there like, hey, all I'm going to do is write all the content that I'm going to produce when I go back to Miami.
that's
Because I
so
shoot it,
smart.
yeah, because I shoot it all in 1 or 2 days, right, for the whole month, so that I can get it out of the way and not have to focus about it. I
Super freaking smart, man. I mean,
want
wow. I mean,
Right. I
mind
wanted
blowing.
to, I wanted that 2 hour period to be able to write, all the headlines, all the captions, all the content that I was going to do. So for that 2 hour period, I wasn't fucking around on my phone. Can I swear? I wasn't,
Yeah, you can do whatever you want, man.
all right, perfect. I wasn't fucking around on my phone, right? I wasn't, scrolling through Facebook. I wasn't looking at Instagram posts. I was dialed in to the content that I needed to create. For that 2 hours, that's all I focused on, was just knocking that out, right?
That is
And
genius, by the way, man. Like the hack that you did, like from 6 a.m. to you, like, I mean, wow.
mm, well, and like we were talking about
Your
before, like,
content's amazing, by the way. I'm trying to, yeah.
I appreciate it. I
Do
appreciate
you
it.
pay anybody to edit any of your content by any chance? Or, I mean, what's your setup with your content, Josh? Because I mean, I'm trying to grow my Instagram now, man. And like, you guys are, I mean, some of the best in the entire world when it comes to just being able to grow accounts, being able to make other people money, and being able to help people reach their goals.
Right.
Collectively together. On that mastermind. I mean, what are some tips and hacks that you share with me? And like maybe like one of the ones that you shared now, where it's just like you begin to write it out, and it's like, whoa, like I could do that. It wasn't even in my like I don't know, it wasn't even in my horizon to even
Mhm.
just begin to write. I would just put out content randomly. Yeah, like
Well,
I believe, yeah,
the first thing is, right, the biggest thing is that you're actually putting on content, right? You're not afraid of what people are going to think about you, because at the end of the day, none of it matters. If you help that one person out, that's one more person that you helped out that you wouldn't have been able to if you didn't
absolutely.
share the video, right? And both Mendez and I are very grateful that we have a team around us, right, to work with us. We have a content director. She handles all the content for him, for myself, and for the podcast. But again, like, it wasn't always like that, right? For 4 or 5 years, both of us were really putting out, like, editing our own videos, coming up with our own content idea. I mean, we still come up with our own content ideas, but like, really, shooting all of our own videos. We're making all the captions. We're doing all that stuff. I'm still doing most of that myself now, as he is. But we have, obviously
I mean,
our,
it's a killer, man.
thank you, I appreciate it, our amazing video editor, Kirsten Rincon. She's phenomenal. She helps,
That's
get our
leadership
good
right there.
side and help us out. But there's tons of tools and resources that you can use, right, in order to really understand what content's going to be powerful for those people, right? So big thing is, what questions are people really asking? There's great tools like Answer the Public, right? Answerthepublic.com and Quora. Those are two big sites that I use in order to find out, like, what are people really asking, right? Because I don't want to put out content that nobody really cares about, right? I'm not here to hype myself up. My ego is already big enough as it is. Yeah.
That's a
So,
good thing, man.
yeah,
As long as
well,
it's a healthy
the
ego,
bigger
your
I will,
money,
right? But I really want to, I'm set out,
confidence.
I create the content I create so that I can help people, right? So I want to know what questions people are asking, and those two websites are a great way to help out. And then you have to also you have to make people what we call stop the scroll, right? So you have to get them hooked with a very powerful headline, and there are plenty of websites that you can use, right? Like Content Row contentrow.com is a big one I use for that. And then, I take all of that and I just come up with a very digestible caption that allows people to really understand the nitty gritty of what I'm trying to get across, right? And I try to keep it as simple as possible. Again, people come to me because they know that I'm smart and they know that I know what I'm doing. I don't need to try to prove that to people, right? So I'm not trying to use fancy words. I'm trying to, again, funnel things down so that it's digestible for people, so that they can understand it, right? So that someone like yourself, who's not in the fitness industry, can take value from what I'm actually talking about,
I like your
and then
content,
implement
Josh.
it
I hope you follow me back on Instagram, by the way,
oh
brother.
yeah, I'm about to do that right now, man, for
Oh
sure.
my God, guys, if he does this on camera, this would be super cool.
Yeah, I'll do it right now for sure. I got you.
I had my other boy Noel Barbero, DX Vice. I'll see. I've been trying to connect him and Tony. If it hooks, I'll hook you. I'll get you guys connected too.
Yeah, for sure.
Um, I love connecting people to people. I believe it's Bob. He sold millions of copies of his books. He's one of the best sales trainers in the world. Fortune 100 companies, they reach out to him. I'm always learning from him. He's one of my mentors in life. He's part of the reason why I have a six-figure job now, partially. He told me it's one of the easiest ways to create value is some connections could be worth millions of dollars. So just when you have somebody that you could connect to somebody else,
Mhm.
be that person that takes that initiative and goes that extra mile because it's
Mhm.
always empty, and connect the person to the other person. They're going to be happy. You're going to be happy because you were able to create value, and they're going to be happy because they were able to get value, and everybody's winning through that simply by just being a person of action like that.
Well, and I
I, th-
think you bring up two good points here, right? Like
I want to ask more
your
questions. I
network.
don't even want to talk, man.
It's your network is your net worth.
Yeah,
So the more people the more quality people you can connect with, right? The better and the more opportunities you're going to have, you know? And you brought up, your mentors, right? This network can in turn eventually become the mentors that you need to be able to level up your own life, whether it be in business, your personal life, your health, whatever, your finances, whatever it may be. Like the more interest you show in other people's work, the more interest they're going to show in you.
I always do that, by the way, because I'm always just real and like I have a big ass smile, man. I'm like, oh, that's so cool. And yeah, as long as you're always authentic, I do that as well. And I mean, geez, because you're older than I, you get me? So I would see you as a mentor and a role model. And I would want to cultivate the relationship and I would want to add value over the years. There's some people when you meet them, it's like for some reason you make less money or something happens. I don't know if this has happened to you. I noticed it. And I'm like, there's other people that when you're around them, you make more money, you feel better, you get me, life just gets better overall. Yeah, yeah. So
It's so
and
important.
and, and mutually, by the way, just like you're with
Yeah.
that.
Well,
Yeah,
a rising tide raises all ships, right? So,
absolutely.
if you win, and I'm able to come on your podcast, which again, I thank you for the opportunity,
I'll make you a sponsored
then
episode.
I
You
win.
are the man. Yeah, I appreciate
Yeah, of course. I really think that that's what it's all about, right? Like finding those people that you want to be around all the time that have the same, they don't have to have the exact mindset you have, but their want to grow, their want to succeed, their want to do better needs to be there if they're going to be in my life. If it seems like you're the same way, right? If they want to be in your life, like they have to be hungry, they want to change. And if you're not, like I only have so many years on this earth, right? Like I don't want to be wasting time with people who aren't trying to, make themselves better. Which is fine. Like if you're happy doing what you're doing and you don't want to achieve and you don't want to get to the same level I'm at, I get it, but you're not going to hold me back from getting to where I want to go. Gotta, gotta come.
Yeah, I mean, you have to cut them, man. I mean, geez, there's some people where like you'll start talking about goals and such. You get me? I'm sure you have old friends that you're just still real with because whatever reason you were just real with that person. It's like what, you were just always real with me. I can tell you're a real person. Eventually, because of Josh's success, somehow he'll get inspired and you get me that girl or guy, whatever it was, they're gonna become more successful through that, and
Right.
hopefully they become more intentional, in their life, and they begin to live their life by design, essentially altogether.
Yeah.
Josh, I mean, what are some other hacks that you get me, in your industry that you believe are like strong points, whether it's in content creating, whether it's in nutrition, you get me some things where you're just like, once I learned that, it's a game changer. Like, just
Well,
being successful as you are, you get me, being a sponsored athlete, you get me, with a big gym brand, yeah.
yep. I mean,
One,
the big thing really is, you got to listen, right? We have two ears and one mouth for a reason. And I think that that is, extremely vital to actually listen to what people have to say and hear them out and understand where they're coming from when it comes to their struggles, when it comes to their passions, when it comes to their successes, you know? And then, especially in the fitness industry, most coaches tend to set these extremely lofty expectations. Like you got to be, you got to wait. I wake up at 4 a.m. You got to wake up at 4 a.m. I'm in the gym killing it. You got to be in the gym killing it. And that's not that's not what everybody wants, right? So a lot of time you have to come back down to reality and meet people where they're at, so then they can start slowly growing, right? And get these small wins accumulated so that they can gain confidence, right? If you work in the fitness industry, if you're a content creator, you're probably already confident, right? You're most likely, at least across the board, generally speaking, right? You're probably more confident than most people out there. So when you set that expectation, like, oh, well, you should just understand where I'm coming from and you should just be able to do this, like, it doesn't work like that. Most people are very insecure. Most people are very uncertain about the actions that they take. So you got to come back down, meet them where they're at, and allow them to build that confidence, allow them to get these small wins so that those things accumulate and snowball over time. I think that those are two important things, that not only, fitness coaches, nutrition coaches, but, people in general who are out there to really make a difference in other people's lives, like, you got to meet them where they're at and help them build from there.
What's something that helped you, I guess, fall upon that? Because I'm sure that goes into your leadership when you were giving credit to like one of the content directors you guys have now, to some of the very successful celebrity clients and just some of the most powerful, people in business that you've coached and you've mentored. You get me holding their hand along the way, getting them from A to Z successfully.
Well, again, it goes back to listening. Like, every person I work with, I understand that not only am I there to help them and teach them things, but I can also be taught. I can also learn lessons from them, And by working with some of the most successful people in the country and in the world, they've become my mentors, right? They become my mentors in life. They become my mentors in business. They become my
What do you
mentors in.
do to have that effect on people? Because I have a similar effect, but I want to pick your brain, Josh, because I mean, the way that you guys interact with people, you and Tony, I mean, it's some of the most impactful people in just like the entire planet. The way you guys are able to shake hands, connect with people, you get me. I've read hundreds of books. I put in I've put in over 10,000 hours to study my craft, just in general, like from all over the place. Like Brad Lee, you get me. I'm next this Tuesday. I'm gonna told me no, come back when you have a six-figure job. I'm like, okay, Brad, I'm back.
Yeah, we have him on the podcast actually next week. I'm
Oh my
pumped.
gosh.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
He loves
excited.
talking about, by the way, when he was younger, how he blew money and then how he was able to become financially smart.
Yeah,
It's something that he really likes.
yeah,
So if you guys, ever want to go into any segment, you can just touch it a little bit and he will, he'll just, he'll
yeah,
run. Yeah.
yeah, for sure. But I think number one is, like, don't be overwhelmed by these people, right? Like, they are celebrities, they are, they do have notoriety, but they're people, right? Like, I used to train collegiate and professional athletes, like, and my family, my sister's a big sports fan. She's like, I can't believe you're training all these people. I'm like, well, they're 20, like, at the time I was probably 23, 24. I'm like, they're the same age as me, if not younger. Like, they're people, they have families, they have, their own things going on. Like, they're people at the end of the day, right? Number two is, like, I want to be as authentic as possible. I'm not going to fake who I am just to try to impress you or impress anybody else. Like, I am who I am. You know, can I improve on things? Sure, 100%. And I understand that. But my values and my morals are always going to be my values and morals. And I'm gonna be the one
Yeah.
over time. And then being very direct with people, thirdly, right? Like, I'm not going to sugarcoat things. If I think that something you said is fucked up, I'm going to tell you I think that it's fucked up. If I really think that something that you're doing is of value, I'm going to come up and straight out tell you, like, hey, I really think this is value, and X, Y, and Z are the reason why. So I think that those three things, right? Like, you know, being aware of who these people are and just understanding that they're people too, so that you don't, get these deer in a headlight look, and you can be confident around them, understanding that I don't need to be friends with everybody. I can, just be myself around
How'd you
people.
get so comfortable with your confidence? Because even you, like, you're a little bit older than me. You get me, like, the kind of people that you're around. Like, I have a healthy network. I'm always growing it. You get me? I have, like, the other day I had some account with, like, 70,000 followers trying to follow me. I don't always connect with those people back. I connected with this person. I'm gonna see what's up with that person. But I mean,
Yeah.
like, you get like probably dozens of those. Does that make sense? It's like that's that next level. My account's like at 1,800. You probably have like what, like I think like 10,000 plus.
Yeah.
Like,
17 something, I think. Yeah. I
yeah,
mean,
so I mean, it's not even the same level. So I mean, wanting to like grow, you get me, and having organic followers, and don't buy your followers because they're just real followers. I
yeah.
mean,
Well, I wasn't always
at
confident,
next level, yeah.
I wasn't confident. Like I told you before, like I was 230 pounds. I was not confident growing up. I
Were you
got picked
studly
on.
then as well, or no?
What's that?
Were you studly then as well or no?
I don't know. I definitely grew into my looks for sure. I was a little fugly kid growing up. Yeah. But I was not confident. I got bullied a ton in high school, right? Like to the point where I contemplated, committing suicide. It wasn't great.
We would have been
Um,
friends, man. I was nice to everybody.
yeah,
I
yeah.
would defend everybody. I'm like, you want a piece of him? Have a piece of me, man.
Hmm.
It was really funny. High school.
At the end of the day, I built confidence through my actions, right? The one
Totally.
thing, you mentioned earlier, what separates me from a lot of people, my relentless work ethic, my relentless ability to question what I'm doing, to be honest about the things that I'm doing right, to be honest about the things I'm doing wrong, and try to improve on everything, right? Be be better at my strengths, get my weaknesses better, right? And be honest with myself so that I can improve, right? And I think that's where confidence comes in. I think you lack confidence when you're actually not taking action in your life. When you do take action in your life, you do become more confident, even if those actions don't work out the way that you think that they're going to work out, right? At least I know not what not to do, which allows me to be more confident in the decisions that I need to make from there on out. You know what I'm saying?
And what are some of the things that you do in maintaining that confidence while maintaining your authenticity, yet being an entrepreneur and I guess going through failures and successes and all that? Like your mindset on that, because I know you have to run in probably like a minute, 2, 3, 4 minutes.
Mhm.
All
Yeah,
right.
I think, again, I think it just comes down to the processes which you take yourself through, right? Like when you finish your workday and you look at yourself in the mirror, are you proud of the work you're doing? Are you certain that you did everything you could that day to make yourself better, to help the people around you become better people? And if the answer is yes to that, then great, good for you. You need to continue down that path, and you should be confident in that. And if not, then you need to make some damn changes, and you need to get your shit together. You know, and I think like that's where the confidence comes from, right? I'm not there to help everybody. I'm there to help the people who are already high achievers who want to take things to the next level when it comes to their health. And if you're not one of those people, then I'm sure that there's somebody that will work with you. But that person's not going to be me because I want to be with people who are ready to take that next step in their life.
I like that. And is there any like final words that I guess you want to share with other people? You got me in, maybe mindset or anything before we let you run in addition to that. Because you have like your confidence, man, like it's like wow, dude. I mean, yeah.
Mhm.
Um I'm always trying to develop my confidence more because I believe confidence is an asset. And when it comes to sales or communication, you get me like I have a lot of confidence when I'm presenting or when I'm selling, but I'm sure there's intricacies that I'm unconscious about. It's like a fishbowl. Like I can only see my own reflection, but Josh is like, okay, well I can see this. You're a genius, by the way. It's like
Thank you. I appreciate that.
absolutely. Um, I mean, any kind of like, you know, things that you've learned. I know Ed Milet, it's like, celebrate the small wins along the way. You get me? Because, these small wins, they'll stack up, and
Yeah,
they do.
I think the best way to wrap this up is like, don't be afraid of the
You're
unknown.
super real too, by the way.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Don't be
Uh,
afraid of the unknown. If you want something, go out there and get it, right? Don't be afraid of failure, right? Because failure is just a learning experience. So if you want something, work your ass off and go and get it, right? And don't be afraid to fail. Don't be afraid of the criticism that you may or may not get, because guess what? It's never going to be as bad as you think it might be.
Boom. All right, guys. This is another episode of Mindset Success Social Dynamics, Life by Design. Josh has been able to design a very successful life. You guys can check him out on Instagram right here at Coach Josh Evans. And we will catch you everyone on the next one.
Peace.
Be great, you guys.